I'm gonna be talking about the horrible balancing issues and just everything going on with the game right now. It's just making it not very fun to play as of right now. Ouroboros Yap Session. Exhibit A. Horrible character balancing and favoritism. Whether you're a new player or an old player, we all know the devs have had some very strange ideas for balancing some of their characters. I mean, for the older players, we can look at Reworked 1X or Cool Kid when you released, because they were pretty... they were pretty broken. And I guess a newer example would be either Noli or V, which I'm going to get into in a second. Now, some of the community would like to say the game is either survivor-sided or killer-sided, judging by how the devs balance their characters. But if you're an older player, you'll know the devs don't just like the survivors only or the killers only. The devs balance the characters on how much they like them. I mean, look at Noli for when he was being released. Noli was at least hyped up for, I think, 4 months until he released, and yes, it was that long. And it was shown that majority of the Forsaken dev team really liked this killer. Design-wise, character-wise, everything. They liked him a lot, bro. Now, when Noli released, he wasn't meta, and he was pretty... I won't say he's weak, but he wasn't good neither. He was... high skill, high reward. You had to use your brain to win. But the Forsaken dev team didn't like the fact that he was as mid as John Doe. They can't have a character they like be as buns as John, bro. And a month after Noli drops, boom! The Noli Superman patch drops, as I like to call it. His projectile got increased by like 10 times. M1 cooldown got lowered and his hitbox was way bigger. I think his movement speed got increased and hallucination got buffed. Like everything about the character got buffed. And he was just unbeatable in Chase until they nerfed him in the Sixer update, which is still pretty strong. And the next example is the Sixer and V hotfix, like I think 3 days after Sixer dropped. This balance was the most stupid shit I've ever read in my entire life. Now, let me say, when Sixer did drop, he was pretty strong and basically a free win. He had basically infinite mobility, and in rage mode, you were just unable to do anything. All of his moves had no drawback, and basically you could just do whatever you wanted with him. I will say he did need some tweaking, but what they did to him is a little bit overzealous. 3 days after this dude drops, he's basically unfucking usable, bro. Now, in the patch, they made it to where you get extra end lag if you miss your dash. If you miss your bite, you get slowness for, I think, like 2 or 3 seconds. They nerfed his mobility on Blood Rush, and I think they nerfed the drop rate of blood on people that aren't in Chase. Now, on paper, this doesn't sound too bad, but when you actually log on to the game and play Sixer in an okay lobby, you just get fucking spit roasted by the survivors, bro. If the lobby you're in is even somewhat competent, they are going to play with you like you're a cheerleader in the football locker room, bro. Never in my entire life have I felt so fucking hopeless on killer. I know someone in my comment section is gonna be like, oh, you're gassing it up. It's not that bad. It is that bad, bro. Like, this dude is completely unusable unless you're playing with actual toddlers. Zero usability in any sort of competitive play or competent lobby, bro. Not even competitive play. If you're playing against survivors that even know how to play the game a little bit, you're getting infinite loop to hell, bro. And don't worry, I'll be talking about infinite loops and horrible map design in a second. You just wait. And they gutted Sixer in this patch, so you think they nerfed V as well, right? Well, not fucking really, bro. V's skateboard mobility got nerfed by like a tiny bit when she does a trick, and Faye's got nerfed by like an unnoticeable amount. Oh, and I forgot, her spray paint health's a little bit lower. I don't know who at the balance team thinks we're fucking stupid, bro, but they obviously have favorites with some characters. Like, how come they got 6 or 3 days on release, but they keep this stupid clanker bitch on a skateboard, the fastest and most broken character in the game? And I want to make this clear, I'm not calling her a bitch because she's a woman, bro. I'm calling her a bitch because she's broken as fuck. Never in my life have I ever played against a robotic character that's made me want to beat up my microwave, bro. I mean, Sixer was really strong on release, but everybody agreed V needed the nerf more than he did. I mean, it's like obvious favoritism on who they buff and who they nerf, bro. It's so stupid. Whoever's the head of the balancing team greenlighting all this shit, I hope you get hit by a fucking bus, bro. But yeah, it's just my first topic on Forsaken shitty game design. On to Exhibit B. Horrible map design and infinite loops. Now, anyone that plays an ASIM game knows there's loops stronger than others, or there's 50-50s, or whatever, bro. But every ASIM game must balance their maps properly, because if there's too many strong loops, the killers are just fucked. Now, Forsaken has had some pretty overpowered loops in broken maps. The oldest maps I can remember that were really broken was like old Yorick's resting place with that one infinite loop on the house, and old Ultimate Assassin's Ground. Any old player that played during that time knows what I'm talking about. Every loop was an infinite. But yeah, Forsaken has had some pretty busted fucking loops. The devs have fixed them, so you think they would fix their mistakes. But with this update and the addition of V, and majority of the player base actually growing a brain and learning how to loop, there has there's been like 6 other infinite loops discovered, bro. The most broken maps I'm gonna talk about came out this update, by the way. Classic Battlegrounds and Cake Factory. Beach Paradise used to have a very overpowered loop, but they kind of nerfed it, so it's a little bit doable now. Cake Factory has like 4 good loops that loop into each other. And Classic Battlegrounds main loop is a god loop, bro. The only way to win on some of these maps are literally playing 1x or John Doe only. There has been so many times where I've left somebody for LMS on Classic Battlegrounds, and they'll just run straight to the middle of the map on that stupid fucking car loop and just run me for half an hour, bro. And it's not even just those maps with god loops, bro. Glass houses and horror hotels still have an infinite loop to this day, bro. Like back then, I'll agree this wasn't as much of a problem because majority of the player base didn't know how to actually play an ASIM game back then. The only time you would see anybody abusing these type of loops were actually good players. But every time I hop on the game, I feel like I'm playing fucking Daybreak 2 with these infinite loops, bro. I literally cannot win unless I'm playing 1x, and I don't find that fun at all. If there is more than 2 competent survivors and they're all on board on running an infinite loop, the game is just over, bro. In some of these loops, you don't even need a team to actually run them infinitely. V and Noob can run an infinite loop by themselves without any help in LMS, bro. And I know someone's gonna say that's very situational to leave a survivalist for LMS, but trying to get a character out like V early in the game is near impossible, bro. Like if this was maybe 2 or 3 months ago, I wouldn't be making this video talking about loops because I never thought they were really broken because nobody ever knew about them or exploited some of these loops. But you know, a bunch of people made a bunch of looping guides and a bunch of infinite loop spots, so all these toddlers know how to run the loops now. You know, I haven't had a problem with infinite loops on an ASIM game in a very, very long time. But it seems Hutoko has proved me wrong again. And I'm pretty sure a good majority of the community is having this issue with infinite loops too. Because everybody that I know has agreed with me that there's just too many overpowered loops in this game now. Hutoko, I thought we learned our lesson from infinite loops and horrible map design. I know you were there when Ultimate Assassin's Grounds was broken, bro.
I'm very unimpressed with these new maps, Hutoko. You better keep one eye open when you sleep.
I mean, if Hutoko's not gonna balance the characters, at least remove the god loops, bro. That's the last thing I want to play against on Killer. No, that's really all I got to talk about. Hitoko, I better be seeing a 6er buff by next month. And that stupid, bolt-munching, wire-back clanker V nerfed, bro. I can't stress it enough. This stupid robot on the fucking skateboard, bro. I'm in chasing this bitch drop kicks me with the skateboard, bro. Lose 8 million distance. Try to chase her, bro. She fucking uses phase and disappears, bro. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this game's balancing and these shitty maps, bro. I really hope by like next month everything's fixed. V obviously needs a big nerf. 6er needs a slight adjustment. And a lot of these loops need to be gutted now, bro. And I know a lot of people in my comment section are gonna say that they don't need to be changed. You're just a fucking survivor, man, bro. Playing Killer on some of these loops is impossible. All right, bye-bye.
Fortnite, boy.